Hello, I'm Reverend Kenny Callahan, the pastor of Metropolitan Community Church of Richmond. The sacred text for this Sunday service is taken from Luke's story, the first chapter, verses 46 to 55, also known as Mary's Magnificat. Have you ever considered singing as an act of resistance? And have you ever noticed that Luke uses a lot of songs in sharing his story about Jesus? In Sunday's sacred text, Mary sings when she is greeted by her cousin Elizabeth. Zachariah sings when his son John is born and his tongue is finally set free. The angels sing of peace and goodwill when they share their good news of great joy with the shepherds. And Simeon sings his song of farewell once he has seen God's promises to Israel kept in the baby Jesus. Why all these songs? Because singing is an act of resistance. That's not to say that all singing is, of course. Sometimes singing is an act of joy and sometimes of camaraderie, but it's also an act of resistance. Mary and Elizabeth knew this very well because they knew just how ridiculous their situation was. Two women, one too old to bear a child, and one so young she was not even yet married. Yet they were called to give birth to children of promise through whom God would change the world. And they also knew how little kindness they would receive from their community tucked away in the hill country of Judea, far from the courts of power and influence. And they also knew how hard life was under Roman oppression. Yet they did not shy away from what God had called them to be or to do. They did not apologize or despair. They sang of their confidence of God's presence and promise to deal with the powers of the day and to reverse the fortunes of an unjust world, lifting up those who had been oppressed. The truth is, when your back is to the wall and life looks hopeless, one of the most unexpected and powerful things you can do is sing. Mary and Elizabeth remind us of another way to experience release from the pressures and the demands of life and connecting again to the freedom and the hope we have in Jesus, the baby of Bethlehem. So sing is exactly what we'll do this Sunday. We're going to sing Christmas songs of hope, to be reminded that we are loved more than we could ever imagine, that God chooses to enter our world and our lives as a baby. God's love in human form come to show us the way of transforming love, accepting and celebrating us where and as we are. As we sing, we'll remember that Jesus is the light of the world, that light that shines on in our darkness, the light that helps us resist any thought that we are not valued, accepted, or deserving of love. It's a song worth singing over and over again, and I can hardly wait to do it with each and every one of you. Thanks be to God.